It's not a bad idea, is it? Love, solidarity, humanity. It might catch on. There's enough of us on the planet to carry it on. I thank you so much for inviting me. It's really really excited to be joining people who are really passionate about writing and passionate about sharing their views and their feelings. I'm going to dedicate the poems I'm going to do today to the Care for Calais refugee winter appeal for coats and sleeping bags. If you can imagine it's cold in your room now, imagine no shelter, no trees, no land, no coats. So the appeal, you can go on to careforcalais.org. You can buy a voucher for 20 quid and I'll buy a coat. Coats are really good because they're mobile. Sleeping bags are great, but coats are what they need. So we're just going to dedicate the series of poems to that. So, and refugees for me are really important to welcome refugees. I saw people on beaches from a group called Britain First, who are fascists with lion's claws on their lapels, shouting at refugees in dinghies to go home. That welcome when they arrive at British shores is terrible. But then the next day I saw children and people with heart shapes and banners saying refugees welcome. That's the humanity we need to show to all refugees. So here's a poem dedicated to them. It's called Heart in a Heartless World. I'll meet you where the lion's claw dips into a silent sea, where we still carry broken chains like hearts, where bomber planes smear the sky like makeup trails, as we float in a black sea with cornflake hunger pains and watch the mothers lose their guardians to the breeze. So under a blood-red teardrop moon we drift, trying to make out the landscape, hoping it's not a dream. I will be the heart in a heartless world. I will be your harbour. So let's sit together in a stolen land and watch all empires fall, because we all arrived here by boat, blown in from the north, east, south, and the west. I will be the heart in the heartless world. I will be your harbour. But we do need to deport the criminals and the work shy. So round up the Tories and their billionaires, because we'll trade racists for migrants and their families. I will be the heart in the heartless world. I will be your harbour. So no more bleeding stars, no more nights in fear. Take my hand, step ashore, because refugees are welcome here. Thank you. It's so important to remember that we're all on a journey. We're people moving around the planet and moving around the world. It's great how money can switch from planet and countries at a blink of an eye, but people can't follow the money. So we're all moving, and I'm a son of an immigrant, and I've lived here all my life in England, and I've got so many friends. But I have seen the rise of racism in my own neighbourhood, graffiti on the walls, swastikas on walls, and the whole return of racism is quite worrying, and it makes me worry about England. So this poem is called England's Going Backwards. England's going backwards, the writing's on the wall. We're all hit by shrapnel as we watch your empires fall. We who worked your foundries, we who cleaned your wards, drove your buses and taxis, transporting the mass and the hordes. England's going backwards, the writing's on the wall. We who paid our taxes, fought in strikes and wars, repaid with low wages and bigotry, and shit put through our doors. We who stayed on at school to teach the dispossessed, then forced to riot on the street and left to clean up the mess. Yes, England's going backwards, the writing's on the wall. We who came here by boat still feel seasick on dry land, waiting for acceptance, love, solidarity, a language we understand. We who settled here started making roots, but after every landslide, we reap the bitter fruits. But England is my home, my childhood, my memories too. The fights, the battles, the miners' strike, the poll tax, to name a few. So raise your voice, because England's up for grabs. The streets, the pubs, the restaurants, the curries, the Sunday lunch and kebabs. You see, the rulers have my taxes, but the people have my heart. We will win or lose together. Don't let them tear us apart. So if England's going backwards, I guess I'm going backwards too, to save it from the barbarians. All I need is you. Thanks. Yes, I'm English, I'm Asian, I'm British, I'm middle class by lifestyle, but I'm working class by bills and debts, so I can't escape them. But I do like shopping. It's become an Olympic sport under COVID. We might win the Olympics by queuing, but I can't queue. Genetically, I'm British, but I can't queue. I need to go to the express checkout. Can't stand. I need to get me stuff and get out. So I go to Sainsbury's and Arnold. Could be another shop, but that's the one I go to. And I get to the express checkout to get my stuff and get out because I can't wait. But then I get stuck and that light starts flashing. And I'm stuck in the express checkout. And it reminds me of Brexit. So I'm standing there thinking about political chaos. So this poem popped into my head. It's called Unexpected Item in the Bagging Area. Lexit, Brexit, we're all trying to forget it, like the unexpected item in the bagging area. Lonely, poverty, let down by democracy. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. Don't ignore me, listen to my story, knock on my door as I'm going to vote Tory. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. Hated, fated, totally alienated. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. You call me a statistic? That really takes the biscuit. I used to roar like a lion. Now I need a shoulder to cry on. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. Tortured at school, I became a fool. Testing's not for me. Life's my university. Homeless and balmy, we murdered for the army. Work drove us mad, considering what we had. We're ruled by a bureaucrat. You're not even allowed to chat. We're the unexpected items in the bagging area. My head's a sieve. I need someone to argue with. Don't stand behind your policy. Come over and talk to me. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. I'll sit in the park, wait till it gets dark. No one will miss me. I've hardly dented history. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. There's a hole in my heart. Love will tear us apart, but I'll give it one more go. But there's something you should know. I'm the unexpected item in the bagging area. Thanks. I nearly said Donald Trump and I meant Boris Johnson. That's funny, isn't it? One's gone, almost. One more to go. This is for Boris Johnson. Never trust a Tory. He's always helped me get through my life and kept me optimistic. So, and when it comes to COVID, I'm not too sure about going to the pub for Christmas. I'm not too sure that they've got it. We're in a situation where the virus is well in control by this government. So I'm not that keen. But here's a poem for Boris. It's called I'm Dying for the Pub. I'm dying to go to the pub. And there lies the rub. To drink or not to drink? That is the question. Whether it's noisier in the bar for me to suffer the drinks and snacks at outrageous prices, or to sit at arm's length in the lounge amongst a sea of social bubbles, and by joining, end them. Now we face the winter of our discontent, missed glorious summer with no plan for track and trace. Because alas, poor Boris, I knew you'd fail. For is this a blagger I see before me? Beware his lies from March. And should I compare thee to the USA? All the world's a plague, and we are mere players. But if you are led by pricks, do not be deceived. And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge? Love all, trust Tories none. And if the lazy Johnson does protest too much, off with his head. Thanks. Don't recommend that action, of course. I think people should vote, maybe start by voting and then follow the French example. I'm Indian, and I must thank the British Empire for bringing me here, bringing my father here. I rarely thank the British Empire, but on this occasion, I wouldn't be here thanking them, and this wouldn't happen. So my father came here in 1952. He's 86 now. He's not gone back home. And I'm Indian, but it's quite strange. And the funny thing is, as an Indian middle-class Englishman, when I go for a curry in an Indian restaurant, it's a bit bizarre. I start thinking, this is such a strange situation. But it reminds me of the British Empire, and that the Empire brought us here. So here's a poem dedicated to that experience. It's called Empire Calling. How did I get here? Snapping on a poppadom, drinking Cobra beer. Who set this in motion? Dragging my father 3,000 miles across the ocean. A head full of dreams he couldn't abandon. Ended in the night shift in Wolverhampton. You see, you build your nation on mass immigration. Then you blame us for the lack of assimilation? Who set the rules that we were the bait? Chased by the skinheads on the housing estate. Where do they hide these voices of reason? An Englishman's home's his castle. To say otherwise is treason. You see, you built your commonwealth on the backs of the poor, from the East Docks of Blackwall to the West Bengali shore. So don't blame the migrants, the immigrants, those poor refugees. When the empire's calling, we all sail the seas. For 500 years, they've tried to divide us, it's true. But we'll stand together because we are the many and they are the few. Thank you. I'm going to leave you with one more poem, nationalism. You know, the first thing Boris Johnson wanted to do when the vaccine was out was put a Union Jack on the bottles. That's the way he works. That's the way he thinks. He thinks nationalism rather than cure. And I know the royal couple have been on a train up and down the country, waving the flag or spreading the virus, as I call it. Not nationalism. It can be dangerous. And beware of people who use flags to divide us and keep us apart. So I'll leave you this poem. It's called My Flag, and it's the sort of world I'd like to live in. My flag has no edge or borders. It doesn't make me stand up salute. It doesn't give me orders. My flag is the colour of a blood stain, some lost in battle, some still in vain. My flag is not a football slogan or a reason to learn to hate. My flag is the difference in humanity, something to celebrate. My flag is for my children and for your children too. My flag is for the many, not for the privileged few. My flag is not owned by kings or queens or by the nation state. My flag says break these mental chains. My flag says liberate. My flag has no spread eagle, yellow star or rising sun. My flag is an open heart. There's room for everyone. My flag is not on the side of a bank or on a dollar bill. My flag has never declared war. My flag doesn't know how to kill. My flag is not made of gold or diamonds, nor does it smell of oil. My flag waves in the streets below, in the hands of struggle and toil. My flag is not the history of rulers past. It's the history we've yet to write. My flag is not here to add to the darkness. My flag is here to bring you the light. My flag is my mother's tongue, although not here to see. My flag is not here to keep you out. My flag is here to set you free. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good Christmas and support refugees.